want to do next is I want to just demonstrate to you what happens when you have a merge conflict, because this will come up. And so I'm kind of simulating two users here. There's the user A that created the first project and pushed it out to GitHub, and then I did a clone for user B, and that's where I just implemented the loopy feature. So now I want to go back to the user A repository. So just make believe those two repos are on a different computer, two different developers. So let's go back over to A. So I need to go up a level, and I think I called it example. So now we're back here, and at this point, this guy is one commit behind because he doesn't have that loopy feature yet. So let's get this one caught up. So this developer does a git pull from origin to his master branch, and sure enough, he grabs that updated copy, and if we do a git log here, you can see that now we've got the loopy feature here as well. So this developer is happy. He's got the new up-to-date code that his colleague, he's real excited about this loopy hello, and he noticed that the readme file still has the to-do in it. And so he decides to pull this file into his editor, and let's get something meaningful in here. So he says, you know, welcome to my project, build with GCC and watch the fireworks. Okay, so we put a little bit note in the README of how to build this thing. Okay, and that's great. And then he decides to commit this. All right, and so great. Now I've changed that README. It's committed, but not pushed. And let's just say, in the meantime, the developer that just implemented loopy hello, all of a sudden he realized there was still a to-do in that README as well. It's like, oh, we got to get that updated. So we're going to go now and simulate that developer. So developer B realizes at the same time the README file needs updating. So he comes in here and decides to update that README as well. So he's going to put a note in here, and yeah, we should help our users, or people using our code, to build this thing, and let's be helpful here. So he says it was hard to write, it should be hard to build, have fun. Do you ever see README like that? I mean, a lot of times READMEs are like that, aren't they? So he is ready to go. He likes it, so he does a git commit. Okay, and so that's down, and then he's like so excited he just pushes it out there. Notice I didn't put origin master on there, so it'll default. That's the only remote, and I'm on master branch, so if I don't put that on there, it'll work as well. So now user B, or developer B, came in, updated the README, but meanwhile, back at developer A, we've committed a change, but we haven't committed it yet, or we haven't pushed it yet, right? So it's made only locally. So let's go back to that directory. Okay, and if we do a git status, sure enough, everything is committed. There's no more changes, so I've committed properly. But I notice I'm one ahead of origin master, so that means I've got one commit that I haven't yet pushed, and so I'm going to push that. So I'm going to say git push, and all of a sudden it's like, oops, sorry, you can't push. Why is it doing this? Okay, well, it's doing this because it's saying, hey, since you last pulled, somebody else did a push. There's a commit out there you don't have. So before I can push, I need to grab that latest update, and this is where the collision is going to come in, because that last update is going to collide with my last update. So I have to pull. When I see this message, I have to pull, and that's what it's telling me to do. Okay, so the error message there is saying pull. So I pull, and when I pull, all of a sudden I see, oops, conflict. Okay, you can't proceed without fixing this conflict. And it's telling me it's the README file that's got the conflict. So at this point, it wasn't able to auto-merge. And I need to pull this conflicted file into my editor and, as a human being, make sense of it and fix it. So let's do that. So we'll go into here, and notice everything between this token on the first line and the equal signs is what my local change looked like, and everything between this equal signs and this here is my remote. That's what came out of the remote. Okay, so what this is telling me is like you think it should be this, but somebody else out there on your team thinks it should be this. Now I get to decide what it is going to look like. So I look at developer B's thing and I'm like, oh, that's pretty arrogant. That's not a good thing. So we're going to get rid of his and just use mine. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So I've done the merge manually, and now I can commit it. And it's a merge, and now I can push it. I hope you've enjoyed these series of videos on learning Git and GitHub. Please subscribe to my channel and check back later for more programming screencasts.